Okay, I believe we're live now. And while that goes, let me put on some background sounds while we're at it. Not gonna be live too long, just long enough to get some work done and hopefully be a little bit productive. It's quite strange. I've added some EQ processing to my signal chain, so a lot of background noises are gone, and the mic is not as sensitive. How you doing, Madyar? I was going, Kate. Oh my goodness, what's poppin', y'all? Oh wait. Wait a second. I'm doing two streams. 1 second, Kate. You have to go to the other stream. Yeah, whoopsie. Oopsie daisy. Madyar? Okay. I tried doing a horizontal stream, but I accidentally used the vertical key for some reason. That's strange. That worked out that way. Let me see if I can fix it. Yes, continue. Yeah, sorry about that, Kate. I don't know why we had two streams for some reason, or two vertical streams. It's very strange that happened that way. So we're gonna be doing some art today. Okay, I'm gonna relaunch the horizontal stream. So how does the mic sound today? I've changed the way we process stuff, so I'm not sure if it's good or bad or what have you. It got rid of a lot of sounds in the background, but it also got rid of some of the high content, so I don't know. We shall see. Hello, horizontal people, or VOD watchers. We had to restart the stream. A little background noise. No, there's no, like, there's very, okay, let's compare it. So you can see where we are normally. So, this is how it is normally. And then this is with, the compressor and the EQ stuff. So it's a very big difference. But I'm not sure what the preference is, right? I feel like we're missing some high content, but I don't know. Yeah, so usually there's not. I guess that affects things too, the background sound. So I'm gonna put on the fireplace, and hopefully that does stuff. I might try to bring back some of the high contents. Let's see if I can't bring some of this back without botching it. And today we're going to be doing, not coding, but we're going to be doing some assets. I've already been doing some assets off stream. I've been working on a new level for the game. There's actually a few levels, but the one we're working on is called, is like a, I don't know. I have a song called, like Mochi themed. I did like years ago back in high school, and I repurposed it for this game because I never used it for anything. And so far we have like the basics of how the environment's supposed to look. Wait for it to pop up. But now I want to actually start detailing a lot of the background stuff. If you look at the background, a lot of it's just like formless blobs. But I want to actually start making it more detailed, and you can see how where I've started part of the process of detailing the background. But yeah, we're getting there. So I want to do this. We might implement some specific level stuff too, like a specific hazard for the level. But and maybe some particle effects for the vehicle, because I hate how the static this looks. So there's a few things I want to do. I made the tile set today off stream. So yeah, hey, what's going on, Sasha? I got accepted into my school's master. Let's go. The cylinder. Oh, that's a long time ago, Sasha. We got rid of the cylinder a long time ago. There's been a lot of changes to the game. Yeah, Infinite Bamboo Island. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the cylinder didn't work. Also, if you guys are curious, when I have levels that are not procedurally generated, this is how I design them. Like, this is how the game loads it in and generates the level. Because I did not want to generate my own file format for this. Super simple. And I have some other key types, but for my purposes, it's good enough. It achieves what I want to do. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, dude. The cylinder was canned like a month or two ago. Yeah, it's gone. Because it didn't really make sense for the levels and for the character presentation and the way the character is oriented in the world, like. And it was confusing. So when I tested with someone, they were super disoriented by the cylinder stuff. So this presentation is a lot easier on them. So, technically it's cool, but we're sacrificing user experience for the sake of just having fun implementing something technically interesting. So I think I'd have to do a fundamentally different game to make the cylinder thing work. So it is what it is. And there's a few other levels too we have going on. But yeah. So today is gonna be much more of just kind of chill and grind through some asset making. I usually don't stream this, but I said, why not? Why not today? Do you get the bitmap and cast it to an array to generate the map? No, I'm not casting the bitmap. I'm just sampling the texture that Unity has. Because we already have a buffer that we have allocated, but the format of the buffer that we have allocated for the state of the level it contains very fundamentally different information than the bitmap, so I can't just read the bitmap into an array and then cast it. But the next best thing is just sampling it and then setting the data in the actual arrays to what they need to be. What's going on, Sajid? Anyways, but yeah, so I have some ideas for the special hazards, because I think every single level is going to have a special hazard. In the asteroid one, we have asteroids that are floating around the level that can collide with you. I think for this one, I want to have some falling leaves that oscillate on the X and Y, on the X axis, that you have to avoid. And the cool thing about not procedurally generating this level is that I have the freedom to create an open void where that could happen. So after you get through a section of matching the curvature of the stienvironment, you could then go into this open space where now you're focusing on avoiding these obstacles. And because it's still deterministic, or not deterministic, it's pre-made already. Subsequent playthroughs of it, you actually get better at it. So the full game isn't randomly generated. Some levels are, some levels aren't. Depends. Still on the Codeberg. Might check the system out later. No, it's a private repository. Though what I do have, Sasha, and I'm not sure if you saw this, but I've been making an ASCII renderer, ASCII game engine, and yesterday we started implementing lighting. So like, we have shaders in this ASCII game. So this is the lighting thing. Let me actually better illustrate this. I was gonna work on this today, but we'll do this. Let's actually, yeah, because we're just testing the lighting system, but we're not gonna use a lit shader for this. This has no GPU rendering. This is all completely software rendered. Let me find where we create the object. Oh, here we go. So instead of standard lit, we're just gonna change it to standard. And we're also gonna go to the shader real quick, because I can't avoid coding. And we're gonna actually use this UV. Actually, Sasha, you've done some shader stuff, I imagine. So I think you're gonna recognize you're gonna recognize the UV square, right? So we got that going, and then I can render, like, it's just this program is treated like a simple shader architecture, so I can just render this, right? But normal shader effects that are common in other applications, or like in, for example, HLSO and Unity, you can also do that here, and it's like kind of it's kind of sick. Let me see. I just did this though, and I did it without regard as to like how this is gonna be done. Hit UV. One second. Let me fix this real quick. Or actually, no. F3 or F2, right? Right. Because this is like the X coordinate. Let me show you. Yeah, I did a bunch of changes to this, so things are not quite where they need to be, but what? Don't need this. So these match up. This doesn't match up. Alright, cool. Oh, it's not doing the thing. Man, we had it working before. Oh, because we're not passing the UV. That would explain it. Yeah, so we can have, you could do a bunch of crazy shader effects. That's not the same one we did before, though. There's some changes we have to do, but you get the idea. What's going on, Kate? Is it Unity Day or ASCII Engine Day? We're going to do Unity. Actually, I'm going to be doing art today. Yeah, UV Square, my beloved. You're rendering via characters, or you plug directly into the GPU? No, I'm using characters, so we're using ASCII characters. You making a game devlog? I should probably do that at some point, Samessa. I'll probably get asked this a lot, but what type monitor is that? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sasha. What engine are you using? I'm making my own engine. This is my own engine here. At least what I'm showing right now. Yeah, what I'm showing right now is my own personal bespoke engine. UV. Yeah, written in C, by the way. By the way, C. No, I'm messing. I think you saw this, Sasha. You already saw this last stream, if I'm not mistaken. Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure you were there for that. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and I need to do some stuff here. There's some edge case I need to cover, like clamping and whatnot. Either way, you get the idea. C# should have a clamp function, right? Or not C#, but C. Okay, one second. We're not doing this right now. I'm not going to work on the ASCII engine. I want to. I really want to, but I also want to finish a game. I think that's like the important thing here. Is that I need to finish a game. Because I have so many ideas for the ASCII engine. So many ideas. By the way, yeah, Vim, by the way. Yeah, Vim, C, good old fashioned GCC and GDB. That's all you need, man. That's all a man needs. Anything else is opulence. It's vanity. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been having, like, I wanted so badly just get cracking at the engine. But I have this game. I actually have multiple games in Unity that I need to finish. It's a bad habit to keep starting projects and stopping them. I believe I'm at like the maximum of like projects I can keep in my memory. And before I start the game console project, yeah, I'm starting, and then I need to do video editing too. I've been slacking on that. I'm debating. I'm thinking I might actually like start allocating some money to pay like an editor or something to just put shorts together, but I don't know. I like being in control of like how I'm presented and what I say. And I know there's like a video I edit and I'm like, if it was someone who's getting paid to do it, they would just send it because it's good enough, but I see it and I'm like, nah, I didn't cover that topic correctly, or I didn't describe the thing right, and I wouldn't feel comfortable just posting that as like a authoritative fact or something. I think if it was more like for entertainment value stuff, then that's fine, but when it comes to information, I want to be very stringent about it and be very picky because there's already enough issues with misinformation. I don't want to contribute to like the propagation of bad information. What's going on here? Nice pixel art. Thank you, Okami. The day I discovered GDB, I had so much fun. My pointers were finally telling me something else than segfault. Yeah, GDB is fun, but we've been having some fun issues where GDB just tells me nothing. And I'm like, oh great. Like there's like one error we got where it was like, it said like there's an error and then empty quotation marks and then at address and it's just 000. And I was like, all right, gee, thanks dude. Gosh, thank you GDB. Well, maybe it wasn't that bad to debug, but yeah, it's funny. I really want to do cool cloth and cape animation. Should I make the pixels work kind of like Madeline's here, where it moves based on rules, or can I do frame by frame for cloth on my pixel characters? I usually just do a frame by frame for pixel characters. Usually I start by thinking about where the arcs are going to be and then fill from there. I've done some, I know on Newgrounds I have a bunch of cape animation stuff that I've done. I have to pull it up. That's like how I think about it. Usually it's like you're usually moving the, like, propagating a sine wave. That's like one way of thinking about it. So let's say like the fabric starts here and then ends here. Every single frame you're kind of just, if it's like a static animation, like an idle animation or something, if this is like the start and end of the fabric, then you're just moving it each frame like that. At least a silhouette. There's other considerations about like when things flap, like for example the edges here, they're gonna have specific behaviors when like you get here, where it's gonna be, the fabric's gonna be bending inward, and then over here where it's gonna be flapping outwards. So that's stuff to kind of think about. Depends on the angle of your fabric too. You might be doing stuff in different places. You might want to have like folds propagate out in a different way. This is a more cartoony kind of way of doing it. The real thing is still kind of similar to that, even like at the bases of the cape. It really depends though on what you're animating and the style you're going for. But in general, like a lot of what you're doing is preservation of volume. And you might think, well, it's a cape, right? So it's just thin. So why do you have to worry about preservation of volume? But like, it's kind of still the same idea. It's like the same way you do like fire animations. Like you're moving volumes of flames around each frame. It's pretty cool, so I'd go with Celeste approach. I'm very much in the opposite camp. I love handcrafted animations. I'm super biased, and I have my own personal tastes, but I like hand animated sprites. That's the craftsman in me, I guess. I mean, procedural animation is still a craft, right? A craft. But I'm biased. I've spent like most of my life doing hand animations, so I always prefer going that route as opposed to the procedural stuff. Thank you, Sasha. Yeah, that's my CRT. Yeah, it's just time. You just gotta spend some time in the saddle. That's how you get better at it. If you look at my art, you'll see like how I've improved like crazy throughout the years and how bad I started. Like all my stuff on Neurons, even since I was like a kid, are still there. So you can really see the growth I've gone through. Hey, what's going on, Chimera? Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good night, Chimera. Wasn't sure if it was a real mag or just a modder built to look like one. No, it's a real CRT. You can hear like the glass and stuff. Green mode. Actually, here's a better. Yeah, there's the proof that it's a real thing. When in doubt, go to green mode. That will exonerate us of all suspicion. Green mode, yeah. Behold. The green mode. Huzzah! We're just gonna do pixel art like this now. We're just gonna do pixel art like this. Let's see how good or... Wait a second. I can't see. There's like... These two colors are indistinguishable for me. Oh, that would be a terrible time trying to do art like that. Okay, never mind. We're not doing green mode for that. Guess the color challenge? Yeah, dude. You have a reverb pedal on your mic? Oh no, it's in my mixing board, but yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of different effects. There's like Hall, there's like rotor. I mean, I have like a bunch of effects available on my signal chain too, so we can go absolutely hog wild if you wanted to, but I like I like exercising discipline. Discipline's my favorite. Boy, howdy. I tell you what. Save. Let's save obsessively. Because that's the big mistake I always make, is I don't save. Also, I need to do particle effects too. We'll see. Yeah, you can see why it takes a little minute to do this stuff. That's okay. We do it with love, with care. Even though I'm kind of desperate to just get this game done already and be free. Good or bad, have this game donezo's already. I also just can't ship something without at least feeling like it's quality or has quality in it. So, I don't know. It reminded me of FNAF 1 Office. Oh yeah, it's kind of like a FNAF 1 Office. Beautiful CRT, must be nice to have that nostalgic on that screen. Yeah. It's great. It's nice having a CRT. It makes the break from my day job to this a lot more distinct. Speaking of which, I need to get ready to request some time off. I'm going to take a vacation, I think. It's about time. I need to go on a vacation. A staycation, probably. Honestly, dude, I just want to work on my ASCII engine and think about the game for that. I think I need to finish this game before I go on vacation. So I can actually start spending that vacation on the new game. In fact, I think that's going to be what we do. Is I'm going to just crunch to get this done already. And out the door. I'd be very curious to see an art stream with green mode and see what colors end up being when it's all done. Well, you're going to see, if I do that, you'd still see it. Because keep in mind, green mode only affects the CRT. It doesn't affect the video output. So you guys are still going to see the colors there. But I'm just going to be out of the loop. Unless I look to the side. But we'll fight the temptation to do that. We'll fight the urge. Alright, do I actually detail the whole thing? You know, I heard an interesting quote from like Penn and Teller. If you don't know, they're like a magician duo. They do magic shows and stuff like that. And I think it was something to the effect of like, the reason this magic works is because I forgot what was it. It was like, the reason it works is because no one will consider how hard we work to make the make the bit happen. Or it was like, no one would reasonably believe someone would put that amount of effort to make a trick happen. But they are willing to do that. It was something to that effect. And that's what I kind of think about. It's like, yeah, no one's gonna know, or no one's gonna consider the amount of work that has to go into making even just a simple background prop. But that's what makes it work, right? That's what makes it effective. Come on, there we go. Yeah, at a certain point, the leaves start... Every time I go through this process of making leaves, they start turning out like bananas. That's the way I think about it. Like, I'm like, does this leaf look like a banana or does it look like a leaf? And if it doesn't look like a leaf, then we have to unbananify it. It's a very difficult question to answer. Probably not going to detail the whole thing. I think we're going to do areas of like of detail and then areas of like of emptiness. Because I think too much detail might be too overwhelming for players. I mean, it's a background prompt as well. You don't want to distract from the foreground elements, or for foreground elements. Pop. I didn't think it'd be so crazy. Yeah, shadows go really hard. They help a ton with making that definition. Yeah, light and shadows, man. That's like the whole game. I've been trying really hard to ignore these corner pieces that are missing, but I can't ignore them. I think I'm gonna have to actually modify the tile set and modify the code that does this so that we can actually select an appropriate part of the sprite sheet to have the corners look right. That bothers me too much, dude. It bothers me. Like, it just bothers me, man. Also, I think these bamboo sticks need a little bit more pop to them, so I'm gonna add another shade, which kind of sucks because we already positioned a couple of them in a variety of places, but oh well. Do we have this tiling on both axes? Yeah, we do. Okay. I'm gonna try to make this look a little bit 3D. A little bit 3D-ish. And have the majority of the lighting happen here. Just think a little extra. I think I'm gonna make this so like this line over here, if it was or had the same amount of light hitting it, would be this color, but because it's being hit by it's having a bit of specularity, we actually use this color, the mid-tone is like or the bright tone is like the dark tone for this second color group. I don't know how to describe that. Like there's this like handoff that happens when it comes to color groups. And you do it like even in normal illustrative art. Also, we want to communicate that there's some volume here, so we're going to have this be offset a little bit. Just so you can see that there's some curvature going on here. Splendid. What's going on, Jeffrey? Did you make that game? Yeah, I'm making that game. In fact, I streamed the entirety of making that game for the most part. Here. Code, everything, even some music. I'm still debating if I'm going to make this open source and like give people access to the source code. What I might do is make the source code open source, but remove all the assets for the game. I think that's what I might do. Now you can see the code that makes the game work, but all the actual assets are not going to be there, so you can't just make a cheapo asset flip game. That's kind of the struggle I have with like open sourcing any of my projects. They're my babies. What's going on, Draco? And good night. Have fun, man. I'll be back. You have a good one, Lord Xon. Thanks for popping in. I hope to see you again. What I learned from my time with Magic was leave gaps in your behavior so they focus more on your person than that crap you're doing right under their nose. Yeah, that attention management's crazy. Can you hit about what you do for a day job? I don't want to be specific, but I want to understand what could give you the understanding on so many levels to do visual encoding. My day job has very little to do with visuals. I do programming for my day job. So yeah, I think, but most of these, like all the skills I have as far as, like my day job has been beneficial and helpful in me growing as a programmer, that's for sure. But all my art skills and music skills are just stuff I've developed outside of at least this job. And it's been mostly something I just spec'd into over time since middle school. I would say there's been different arcs in my life. I think most of my life I was focused on getting good at pixel art. And only recently in my life have I been doing programming and speccing into that skill tree. And then music's something I've been doing for a long time, and I've always enjoyed. And I've always had some intuition. Like, I've always kind of intuited, like, it's very odd. I remember in middle school playing guitar with a friend of mine in her room, and she put on a song I never heard before, but I was still able to kind of predict and play the chord changes. And she was like, why, have you listened to this song before? Do you know what it is? And it's like, no, but I didn't realize it then, but I had an understanding of chord progressions and that idea of tension and release, and the common places chords or songs go to build tension or relieve tension. And it's cool because like that idea of tension and release is common, like even independent of music. It's something that you see very much in art and pixel art. Though in this case, instead of tension and release, you think about it in terms of value and contrast. But yeah, if you see like the similarity between things, it makes learning about it much easier, because then you have an analogy to bridge the knowledge gap, or not knowledge gap, but rather to help bring in your intuition from other fields, if that makes sense. And I think the jump from art to music from music to art is a bit easier because art is very quick to assess, whereas music, it requires you to like listen for like 2 or 3 minutes every single time to assess the quality of your song. Like imagine if you want to see how your piece looks like, you have to wait 2 minutes. That's insane. You'd be like, that's crazy. Heck nah. I would never want to do that. That's kind of your music. DC does coding for VR. Yeah, that's part of it. Happy working. Thank you, EXSAZ. At your current place, how about some little musical break later? I can do some musical break. I know you don't want to specify clearly. Yeah, I do. With all the AI vibe coding train at day-to-day work happens on my end too. Yeah, it's been very disheartening for me seeing that happen. I feel demotivated. Yeah, I can feel that too, man. You're not alone. And yeah, and there's no real like easy kind of concession I can give about that. It's just that's the direction at least corporations are going to, and even even people I respect are very much going down that rabbit hole for a variety of different reasons. Some of it's so convenient. Others are like more defeatist in that, hey, this is the future, we can't escape it. So like, why not just fully drown yourself in it and start just getting ahead of the curve and integrating everywhere. And that's also kind of disheartening to see that. So you're not alone there, man. And I wish I had something easy to tell you about that. But it's just kind of how it is. In some ways, it's kind of like the Industrial Revolution, but this one has like this weird sense of like, I don't know, I wasn't there for the Industrial Revolution like anyone else here. But there seems to This feels like a very moral component that's like bothersome here. To me, at least, like it's something that's very much like, if something that's like very much spitting in the face of of something fundamentally human and meaningful about work. I don't mean to be a doomer here, guys. It's just that's been something that's very much on my mind lately, and you know, it is what it is, right? But hey, I'm able to do my job without it, or without being forced to use it, and I'm still very much staying in line with. Oh my goodness, is he fighting? I'm still producing work that I feel content with and that people see the value in my job, so people can do as they like, but at least for me, it feels like I have my integrity. My integrity. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. And I think my tune might change. It feels like if things were done in a more ethical way. Like as far as sourcing information as well as, you know, if I'm not contributing to the building of a data center in someone's rural neighborhood, like that would be more amiable to that. But even then, there's some fundamental things. My relationship would not be like the Gastown Manifesto. Okay. Yeah, if you want to see something really demoralizing, just read that whole Gastown Manifesto, and it's just freaking terrible. Absolutely terrible. I have a cool Goft that I think I got from my dad because he's a pro guitarist, but I have the ability to just know if my song is not going to be right or what to add because I have a privilege of hearing things really well in my mind. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I have that same thing. I mean, like, it's very interesting about when it comes to producing music or even art, right? And people focus on techniques and composition and stuff like that, but I think the most important thing is taste. Because you can look at an art piece and tell if you like it or not. But I think there's people who don't really have confidence in their taste. So they look at their piece and, like, you know, they don't know what to do because there's no taste guiding their assessment of the value of the piece, you know, the assessment of its quality. I'm going to add some layers, I think. I'm going to have some parts that have, like, bushes and stuff. Alright, let's continue on with the background a little bit more. And music's the same way, like, taste is like the key thing. And the exposure to songs and a variety of music is key in informing your taste, as well as, like, expanding your palette for what you might even consider as options. Finding my boss to stop this investor madness. We're craftsmen, not agent managers. And I will not sell my soul to corporate world and give up the very thing that makes me and my coworkers happy. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's terrible. It's like, the people who do this stuff well are the people who enjoy it for craft. And it's like, that push is being framed as like, oh, it's going to make you more productive and all this stuff, but it's just, it's eroding something very fundamental about work and its important function in our lives. Because, like, work is important, and I think even if everyone had stable income and whatnot, there's still a purpose to do work. There's still a need to have work at some level. So to like remove the enjoyment and the pride you get from doing work well, and to remove a sense of ownership over your work. It's just something, there's something that's like evil about that just erodes at you. Not trying to be a doomer, dude, but it's that's why I see and believe. And then there's like there's a bunch of different arguments like, oh, but you can use this to automate and implement stuff that you normally don't want to implement, right? But like, to me, that's like the issue of just way too easy gratification. Because you're getting something that you did not... I don't know, like you're getting something that you did not earn. And it's exciting because you got the benefit without any of the cost. And I guess it's in some points, in some level, the point of the tool, but it's a difference of like a tool enabling you to do stuff versus a tool like versus something that's stealing, right? Because keep in mind, like, where's this data trained? Right, stolen stuff, right? Or like the argument of like, oh, how it is to, you still get energy to do game development in your spare time after work. Well, I mean, I kind of need to. Ochi Orbus. Yeah, we had a conversation about your name before. Like, I don't have to, but like, this is exciting and fun for me. And I get to implement things in a way that makes sense to me, and I get to have like projects that I have like full ownership of, and because of that I can express or explore or do different things that I can't do at my day job. And it's like a breath of fresh air for me. Not to say that I hate my day job, I like my day job, and I get to do some cool stuff there, and I think I do some things that are actually of social utility. But with the stuff that keeps rising up, like we're discussing, more and more, my personal projects are where I actually grow as a developer. It's where I actually get a lot of the, that's where I subsidize my knowledge. And I don't think I would be nearly at the level I am at work have I not been working on my own personal projects. And this stuff is super exciting to me. And it's cool, like, there's a lot of times where I'm taking knowledge I've gotten here and being able to apply it at work, which makes it better. And work's ain't bad, because even though there's like a push to do this stuff, and I'm so tired of hearing about AI this, AI that, and all this stuff there, like at the very least, I'm not being required to use it. I'm not being forced to do it. So and I've tested it out before, because there's a point where I was like, okay, I might as well actually give this a test and understand what's going on here and how this works. But yeah, there's just something that feels very much wrong about it for me. I think something bad's gonna happen with all this tools that people are using, and I'd rather not have this exposed. Okay, so we have some things here. I think we're gonna try to create some depth. I think we're gonna make some like maybe areas here and communicate some volume. Maybe I'm just hoping, like being a doomer and hoping that this stuff like becomes a liability more and more, but I don't know. Art stream, yeah, we're doing some art. And not creative. It's not creative. And I mean, I don't know about that. Like, have you seen like the things that are happening now? It's being banned in some places. Like Microsoft is banning the use of it. And then Nvidia's starting to pivot back to gaming, it seems like. So I wonder what's going on with that, huh? It provides utility, but it's like there's like so many fundamental issues about it, and I think some of this stuff is only gonna. The thing that worries me is that like there's some clear fundamental issues about the usage of it, especially the way people are using it. But like, you're not gonna see the cost of it until later down the line. Like, okay, there's this thing IBM had a long time ago. So IBM, oh no, not IBM, Texas Instrument. Texas Instrument is this big company, right? And you might know them of like producing calculators. And they used to be really, they're still big, but they're like super huge before. And one of the CEOs or some chief officer, I think, who worked there, started realizing that, hey, there's a lot of institutional knowledge within our company. Like, we've had multiple generations of people working here producing stuff, and we clearly have some impressive things. So his whole campaign was not to expand knowledge or focus on expansion, but rather expanding inwards, having a better internal understanding of the knowledge the company has and has built over time. And that's important. And I think the more we rely on these systems, I don't know. I think there's a risk, depending if you use it irresponsibly, of like just losing that stuff, because we're so reliant on it that you start forgetting how to program, which totally can and has happened. And not just how to program, but also specifics about your company or projects or whatnot. If you do it right, you can use like Claude MD files to create documentation about your code base. But then like you have this new issue that emerges where it's like, all right, you're relying on this external agent to read and have understanding about the code base. So your brain starts getting a little bit soft about it, and you start unloading information about architecture or whatnot off, and then like in a bad case scenario, you have to pay the piper of like relearning everything. So reading from disk. I don't know. Worst case scenario is like some crucial nuances about things just get lost. So it's, yeah. Was off the chart, yeah, 100%. What's going on, my Muai? How you doing today? Yeah, but like cognitive data is such a huge thing. I encountered that a bunch when I started testing using it, where like I use it to develop some tools, and then cool, the tools work, right? Or they appear to work. But then like, how do you know that they work? Well, you can try inspecting the results it generates, but if you don't have the results, already done beforehand, then how do you validate it? Well, you can either go through the code or go through the thing manually, and if you go through it manually, it defeats the whole purpose of it. You can have it write unit tests, but then it's like asking, like, I don't know. It's that whole case of, yep, I've investigated myself and I found myself innocent. Like, sure, you can spin up another instance, but like, how reliable is that? So you end up having to just read the code that was generated, and then you pay the piper for the cognitive debt. And then the whole purpose of having it generate something gets defeated because now you had to learn, you had to pay the price, the knowledge price that you're trying to avoid in the first place. So it's like, yeah, it's worrisome. And then you miss out on opportunities to learn. Like today, I had to do something. I had to make a utility that needed to like do a command and then get the result of the command from a string and print it out for someone, right? And you know, that's something that someone would normally just say, "Hey, Claude, do that." But I was like, "No, we're gonna figure out how to do this, and it's not gonna be that crazy." Like I know about batch scripts, so how crazy can it be? And he started going, and I work on Windows for my day job, so I was like, all right, is there a grep equivalent for Windows? And it's like, oh, there is something kind of like grep. Cool. And then here's the command I need to get information from, and here's the parameters for this grep equivalent on Windows. And it's like, oh, snap. Cool, I learned something new today. And I would have been robbed of that had I not decided to just do it myself. And then imagine compounding those opportunity costs throughout an entire career. And then you just end up having like, you end up losing so much peripheral knowledge about computing and systems and stuff. You become lesser for it, at least a lesser programmer. I don't think there's anything wrong with being average, right? But I do dislike not doing the best that you can. I don't know. I can understand things being treated as just a vocation and that's it, but I don't know. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Peak, what's going on? You know what funny? Some people have AI. Oh yeah, the AI girlfriend boyfriend stuff meme. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's a very terrible thing. Like this stuff is like leading to a societal collapse in some levels. Like we've already been on track for that for a variety of reasons, but yeah, that's a whole different can of worms. Like, gosh, man, there's Reddits for that kind of stuff, and it's like it's like, it's sad, but it's also revealing, right? Of a bunch of different things. Like it's like obviously it highlights like this whole loneliness epidemic, right? It also highlights like, oh, how I'm trying to word things correctly or carefully. That looks like a face, does it? Oh, is it this here? This whole thing? Looks like a dude squinting. Maybe do some like woods and stuff like that here. Yeah, this adds detail here, but I'm doing a variety of styling, so I can't like just do... I could do this hatch patch thing, but yeah, like I think also the whole AI boyfriend girlfriend thing just kind of reveals how superficial the idea or understanding of love is. But yeah, it's troubling, especially since like kids are getting access to this stuff, and there's a lot of like terrible ramifications of that. And again, like it's just so many negatives, and I just don't want to be part of it. I think that's the biggest issue for me, is that like it feels like this thing is such a blight, and to use it, even if we ignore all the negative downsides of it, just feels like I'm endorsing or supporting this negative thing. And here's the thing, like, you can inspect anything and find something bad about it, right? Like the smartphones we have in our pockets, key components and elements for that are sourced in unethical ways. Like that's just, you'll search it up and you'll find it. So like there's a part of this that is, if I'm gonna be like transparent, right, or very honest, like there's probably a part of this outrage that's very much just due to the fact of how close it is to home. On the other hand, though, it's like this stuff is like there's like two things, right? At least for me, it feels like a lot of this stuff has been kind of inherited. Whereas this is a new thing that's greatly emerging, and unlike things that are established, like, you know, mobile phones and computers, that there's still like something we can do, or that we have some impact in terms of trajectory or velocity, or at least reception of this stuff, right? And then and it's not to like, I'm not gonna like it, other stuff that we mentioned, yeah, that's bad, right? I think this has a potential of being like, just not the potential, it is like a bad that's gonna affect everyone, absolutely everyone, and it affects not just you know, like the lower elements of like Maslow's hierarchy of need, but also like just something fundamental, like something metaphysical. But I'd have to think a little bit more about this stuff, which is an odd thing to say since I get like everyone here has been surrounded by it, but I think there's something about this that just warrants more thought on my end. I don't know, am I sounding am I waxing poetic? Am I I don't know. Steve, what's going on? Minecraft Steve is here. Hello, Minecraft Steve. is a relationship with activity, especially the more you sink into it. I think it shows how people treat relationships as a deterministic goal, where if you spend a lot of time talking to somebody, you'll eventually be a GF. Yeah, that's part of it. I think that's one element to it. There's also the fact that a big issue about AI is just like how much it panders to you, right? And will not correct you, or has like a propensity to just go along with you. So just kind of revealing of like how like a true relationship will have tension, it will have confrontation, and in fact it's necessary, because if you're doing wrong, oftentimes you're blind to it, and you require someone to take on that hard task of confronting and pointing out that you're wrong. It's not fun, but it's necessary. And a healthy relationship does have that confrontation. So what those AI boyfriend and girlfriend things are doing is like that whole instant gratification thing. All the positive dopamine, none of the negatives. And now you're conditioned into having an incorrect perception of what relationships are supposed to be. Which, even with the whole confrontation stuff, like, I think most people still have a bad understanding of like what relationships are meant to be, but like that's even further away from it. And then like if you have that inbuilt perception or understanding of it, then it's like, oh my goodness, you're gonna have the probability of you being able to like get into a health, like there's more factors that are working against you into getting into a healthy relationship, right? Ah, man. Anyways, trees, right, guys? Beautiful, fun little trees. Happy trees, right? That's what you're doing, guys? Happy trees? Yeah, lots of happy trees. Lots of happy trees. Gosh, I love me some happy trees. I'm gonna save this as is. I think that should be... It's not quite right. It's a bit inconsistent in certain parts, but like... I think where the diffuse is happening here, I'm gonna have these a bit more fused together, so that this feels less jarring. The separation, like only the dark side, the parts that have like the less diffuse should have more of these shadows encroach in there. When you think about it, every jump in technology is a way of mankind to fill this gap we have by nature we don't possess. Transgenerational knowledge, internet and recent discoveries are bringing. The gap we have with other species that are able to pass down knowledge via their DNA. Yeah. What was it? There was a thing, just like a book. I can't remember it. But yeah, I was talking about that. I mean, it's kind of amazing how much we progress as humans just by the ability to pass down knowledge generationally. But yeah, if you think about it, like the Henry Ford's assembly line, well, not only does it speed up production, but it also makes the individual human in the production line much more replaceable and easier to swap out, because now instead of having knowledge about the full cycle producing a single unit, they only have one piece of the puzzle for producing. So it makes the individual element more expendable. And by, extension, makes that cost of passing knowledge smaller. So in that same way, from that same lens, I can totally see how this fits into that same idea. How's it going, Kai? It's good to see you. I'm glad to see you again, man. It's been going good, man. Bunch of different projects, doing some art today, and then hopefully get this game finally done eventually at some point. Yeah, I used to have a DeviantArt account. I can't remember what it was called. The scoreboard, I think. Oh yeah, the scoreboard was going on. Yeah, I mean it's working kind of. There's some bugs I need to fix, but the text rendering does work at least. I'm gonna make some other texture because these bamboos by themselves feel too uniform. I'm gonna add another layer in front and behind, just to have like some leaves and stuff in front and behind them. Yeah, did you find something, Ochio? Or Ochi? Alright, let's see how it looks in game. But yeah. Yeah, I could dig the trees. I'm digging those trees. I almost feel inclined to make the slopes, the corners slanted and slopes instead, but the hitbox is still going to be the same, so people are going to think they have more clearance than they actually do, which is going to be a bad thing. Ow. Anything about the colors we're using? There's a lot of green, both for the foreground walls and for the bamboos. I might change the color of the bamboos, honestly. If I'm gonna be real with you. I almost feel like they need to be a separate color or a different color. Something very distinct from this. Yeah. Let me search up something. I want to see if they have... I know there's different color bamboo. I want to see what options I have, though, that are still kind of native. I guess I can make it more brown. Gotta add new colors to it, too. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a try, actually. We'll give that a try. Very Terraria, yeah. Honestly, this whole tile map system I built for this game really makes me want to make a 2D platformer. This level generator and this tile system and everything, I can totally make a 2D platformer. A procedurally generated 2D platformer. That'd be super fun to do. And alas, I'm using it on on this game. On this infinite mobile runner. Oh, brother. We made so much cool stuff in this game, and it's I don't know, it's for something that's kind of dumb, I'm gonna be honest with you, but hey, we gotta get it done. We're already here. I'm not gonna pivot again. Just get the game done, and then we can do some new cool stuff in my new cool game engine. The 50th whatever stuff version I've created. that seems too dark. Hey, this man can't stop making game engines. What can I do? I got a sickness. And the only cure is more engines. I just want to work in C, dude. That's all I want to do. And I want to be free of Unity. That's all a gamer wants to do. This color feels a little too bright. I think I want to lower down the... Oh, I mean, like, we'll just... Yeah, it feels too bright to me. I'll bring this back down a little bit. Okay, that seems more reasonable. That seems more reasonable, man. What's going on, K9? Do you want to make your money out of your games? At some point. Honestly, like, this channel, I haven't made it monetized, and I don't intend to. And I don't want to do a Patreon or anything like that. Maybe eventually one day I'll do it, but like, I don't want to be paid for nothing, right? So this game is supposed to be something of like a, if people want to support me, there's a game you can purchase, and at least you'll get a game, and maybe the source code along with it or something too. So that like, there's a way to support me, but it's not for nothing. Like, it's still an exchange. I think that's a big thing for me. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too prideful or something, but like, I don't want to get money for nothing. So if people ask, like, hey, how can I support you or something, I could just say, hey, here's a game. And that's it, right? Yeah, maybe I'm wrong or crazy. I know a lot of people who, like, if they were in my position when this channel was blowing up like crazy a bunch of months ago, like, they would have 100% done it, but I just couldn't do it. I wouldn't lie if there was a temptation. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a temptation to do that, but I don't know. Doesn't feel quite right. Cool, I'm liking this though. I'm liking this. This is coming together pretty well. Now we have to do the mountains in the background. And I might even increase the resolution a bit, but we'll see. About it, I don't see it as a pride thing. It's the equivalent exchange as a Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, people... Here's the other part of this, is that people, if they donate money or something to me, even though they may say it's a donation, people feel some type of way, or at least a certain percentage of people will feel some kind of entitlement or something, right? And feel like you owe them something. And that just opens up a door for people to do weird stuff, you know? And I also don't want to invite that either. So I don't want to have people have the impression that they own me or something, you know? Everything I produce is just for the love of the game, man, and if I do educational content, which I think I'm going to start doing at some point, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about how I'm going to plan lessons, but yeah, like, it's just at some level or another paying it forward or something. And if I do get something, I don't want it to be for nothing. Let's go on TST. I think it will because you really deserve getting back from your artwork. Yeah, I would like to get something back from it. I don't know. We'll see, TST. We'll see. I'm a very belief-driven guy. So I can be quite stubborn if I believe an idea, and until that idea changes or that belief gets changed, then like I'm gonna still stick to the guns. Yeah, especially because back then, like even with me not charging or doing any stuff, I still got a bunch of very, let's say, interesting people in my DMs and some things that were kind of very uncomfortable for me. And I can only imagine how that would escalate if like had I accepted money from them. Yeah, it's A-Sprite. The product I'm working on has to be finished in the next few weeks. Oh, the financial, like the data sheet thing you're doing, or like the machine learning thing you're doing, right? The one where you're doing some SQL stuff with a while ago. Not a while ago, pretty recently. Twitter ruined game development forever. I mean, that's if you go on Twitter. You just be me, dude, and just not interact with that. Honestly, not interact with anything. Like, it's kind of bad and good. I'm very isolated. Like, I don't really interact with any, like, the game development community whatsoever at all. The only kind of interaction I have is these streams where I just go live and I show you the process of working on stuff, but I'm just like not part of it. I guess if you're trying to do this financially though, like as a full-time job, you kind of have to be kind of engaged with it. And that sucks, but if you have the luxury of not doing that, you can just create just for the sake of creating, and people's opinions or whatever don't matter, and you can just do your thing, dude. Takes like 70 hours to train. Jeez, dude, that's insane. It typically takes 10 to 14, and it keeps bleeding money or making barely no return. That's crazy. And when do you need to get this done by? Yeah, no pressure whatsoever, right? Yeah, dude, no pressure. No pressure at all. This green needs to be more blue. Let's hue shift a little bit. And then we're gonna do some highlights that are like yellow. You can do like the Mario Hills Have Eyes type thing, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take I for sure need to take a holiday and just get this game done already. I have so many songs, so many ideas I want to do already. Let's see. Oh, the 23rd. Oh my goodness, that is crazy, Kate. I'm not sure how you're gonna do it, but that's. Hey, man. This is your defining moment, right? This is your do or die. This is where you either become the hero or, you know, or a tragic origin. I don't know. But you're a smart cookie, Kate. So if someone can do it, I believe you can do it. Depends on the real focus you have on something, whether you do it for yourself or with an art or for others. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, people are different. Different motivators and different reasons for it. Different expectations too. I have talked about it, right? Game development is something that's very much self-expressive for me at some level, so monetizing is something that's careful, and the expectations I put on it, I'm very careful about it because I don't want it to be something I grow to hate or something that becomes a source of stress. Well, this one's kind of becoming kind of a source of stress, but not really. It's a source of stress because I just want to get it done and I want to work on other stuff. It's not a source of stress of, oh, this needs to be a commercial hit or something, or I don't know. I also think with this one that I'm just so done with Unity. I'm just so done. I could totally use green mode for this, but I could barely tell the colors. Villain origin story. Yeah, if things go wrong and the thing doesn't go right for Kate and the investors get angry and then Kate gets laid off, and then not only they get laid off, but on the way home they get hit by a truck, and it turns out that truck was filled with acid, and not only was there acid in the truck, but there's also radioactive seals in there, and all of a sudden Kate gets irradiated and bitten by these radioactive seals and becomes the acid seal person. And then, yeah, like that's it. It takes one bad day and a couple of radioactive seals, and then we have a villain origin story for Kate. So no pressure, Kate. But I'm not saying that that is exactly what's going to happen, but I can't promise that it's not going to happen. All right. Sounds like fun. Yeah, honestly, maybe being seal person is like a better fate than working in corporate America. You're gonna have some interesting Google searches, like how can I be gainfully employed with radioactive powers? How can I provide for myself and my family when I'm a walking Chernobyl? Yeah, you're gonna be getting some Google results that no one has ever seen before. Impressed. What's going on, Runtime Ranger? No pressure, only the fate of the world is in your hands, nothing more. Become a nuclear power plant. Yep. I think that would be your fate. Actually, that would be the way you get gainful employment with while being radioactive. Look at this. Dude, I just want to make a a Frutiger Arrow style game at some point. Let's see how my engine turns out, the ASCII engine. It looks very promising so far, though. I'm very happy with how the engine's progressed in such a short amount of time. Like, what, in 3 streams, we have the object, we have the simple ray collision test stuff happening for the camera, ray tracing. We have the shader architecture set up. The shader and shader uniform data architecture setup. We have texture rendering on ASCII representation, that's working. We have the texture system there too. I mean, it's very simple. It's not like it's a very manual process, but it's enough for me to do the things I want to do, so it's fine. And honestly may just stay in that state until like the end of a project for all intents and purposes. Like the engine's coming together pretty good. We have the lighting system implemented. Like, yeah, 3 streams and we got all that going on. Heck yeah, dude. I mean, the lighting system's a little bit janked right now. There's some things I need to fix, but it's like probably something very simple. And then after that, I need to start thinking about application logic and start making an editor. Or at least design. I need to start designing the editor first of all. Or actually better yet, I should probably design what kind of game I'm going to make first and then make the editor for it. But there's some basic assumptions I'm going to have. Like, yes, it's going to be a top-down RPG, I think. I would like to make it like a action RPG, but I need to figure out some stuff with the input. And then what else is there? Yeah, we have to make the editor. I don't know what else is there. Yeah, map editor. Basically the one I wrote for the first version of the Cozy engine. The one with like the Vim motions and stuff like that. I'm gonna just make that be the thing. I'm just gonna add something more robust so you can like select entities and then choose from there. But yeah, there's that. It's cool doing a text-based editor because like, or text-based rendering, because then I can just have characters. Like, I can just literally print the text on screen as is, and it's like readable. So it's like super simple. And I can treat it like a forward rendered thing, so I can just create the object and render it, and it's fine. And like, it's gonna be super trivial to just draw things onto the screen. I'm gonna have to implement like a text. I have a color buffer. Now I need to also add a text buffer. So not only is there a thing that indicates the final color that's gonna be rendered on the screen, but also the final character that's gonna be rendered on screen. Oh, I didn't test the time stop effect on here. Oh yeah, this is starting to look much prettier, dude. Way prettier. Oh yeah, we're getting closer to final level quality. Very nice. Let's open up the second hills. It's gonna be more straightforward, I think. And we're just gonna hue shift up towards the green spectrum of things. That should be fine. You also broke the best record of return. Let's go, dude. It's 50 breaking 50%, 55% accuracy. Let's go, Kate. From Game Day, these are Roblox devs. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's like there's a Roblox dev who pops in here, which is like it's odd. It's very, very odd. Breathe. Thank you. Oh, wait, that's auto translation. It's an odd thing, though. I don't know. I need to, like, I'm trying not to be... And you know what? If you have nothing nice to say, I'm gonna just keep it to myself. But yeah, the Roblox thing is very odd to me. But people have done some crazy stuff there, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make a bunch of terminal games. Like, it's gonna be such a niche audience. It's like, alright guys, just do sudo apt-get terminal quest and like that's a game you have access to. Like my whole library is gonna be terminal based ASCII games. I don't know, but I'd be kind of sick. Like, I'm not sure. I haven't checked. I haven't done research or market research on this, but it's like, dude, how far have people pushed this? Like, I've seen people use ASCII aesthetics, but it's still like, you know, geometry-based rendering and whatnot, and you're using an engine to do it or something. I was like, how many experiences have people created just straight up terminals? I don't think not that much. Not that much full-fledged games either, I'd bet. Windows user would have to use WSL. I have to think about that. I think there's a way to make it work without WSL. In fact, I should. I have to test. I guess CMD. Like, either that or they have to use a custom terminal that supports the different features that these, like, things like Westterm have. Because some of the ANSI escape codes I'm using, like, I don't think it's guaranteed that every single terminal has it, and Windows for sure probably doesn't support it. But I have to test it out. I guess the real issue is I would have to download a Windows... I have to get like a Windows machine at some point. I'll probably go in the used market and find some crappy laptop that's using Windows to test this with. That'd be like the only way I would dare using Windows or purchasing a new Windows product. Game for mobile platforms. I forgot the name, but they relatively recently announced a sequel. Interesting. I made some terminal games, but nothing really trying to emulate a shader. Gotcha. Yeah, I want to see how this performs. I want to try getting this to compile on the terminal I have on my phone. I forgot what it was called, but there's one for it. There's some. I tried compiling Rivendun on it, and it didn't work. But I think there's some platform dependencies that just don't exist, so I have to might do a special compilation for Android and whatnot, which is okay. It's fine. We'll live. Okay, I think about the sky too. I have to think about that. I canceled it, made some few changes. Now the model trains in 22 hours instead. Oh, that's blazingly fast. It's basically instant, dude. Basically instant. I still remember that game, the Discord game idea I had, where it's like it's a game that prints the state of the world as a Discord message, and the game clock tick was me like once every hour or something, or 30 minutes. I was like, yeah, that's crazy fast, right? A whole 24 frames per day. What a blindingly fast game. Yeah, this is starting to look nicer. More pleasant for sure. I would like to do foreground elements, but I feel like I worry it'd be way too distracting. Okay, we're gonna do something new now. We're gonna do, right, this one here. So the key is I can't have a resolution that's the same as this one. It would have to be like an offset. So I would need to do like a canvas size of 512 by 512. And canvas size 512 by 512. Let's paint the whole thing. Perfect. Okay, get rid of that brush. I'm gonna make a new layer. This is tiling on both axes. Tile mode, both axes. Fantastic. And now we're gonna do the bamboo leaves. Let's go on Techno Mask. I'm only training on minute aggro though, only 500 gigabytes. Kind of reminded me to the Doomsday Clock. Apparently it was set to 1 second closer to midnight this year. Yeah, dude, I don't know. They're just gonna keep... The whole Doomsday Clock thing is so dumb to me. I know it's not a 100% arbitrary thing, but like at the same time, it's just. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems goofy to me. Where is it being pasted? Oh, there you are. Come on. Why is selecting always so stupid? Okay. Nope. And you always get pasted somewhere random. Why? Why can't you just be normal? Why doesn't... Oh my goodness. Ace-Sprite, you're killing me. The size of this, I'm already starting to kind of regret this. I should have used a paintbrush. I found the name of the ASCII game. It's called Story Story RPG. Let me check this out. RPG. Oh, Stone Story RPG, my bad. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah. Yeah, they had a YouTube trailer. Yeah, that's cool. But this is still doing the thing where it's like not... Or am I missing? No, actually... Is it actually a terminal game? It actually looks like it. Huh. Like all things I'm seeing there are stuff that you could totally achieve with within a terminal. Yeah, it's pretty sick. At least like the presentation, the animations and stuff. Oh wow. Yeah, I saw the intro thing though a while ago. I'm gonna have to give this a try. 400 megabytes of RAM. Let's go, dude. No, I'm curious. I want to see. This looks cool, though. Really sick. Thanks for pointing it out, TST. Appreciate it, man. What is that? Oh, they have some promotional art, too? Oh, that's how the character's supposed to look like? No, don't do that. Part of the fun is like you get to fill in your you get to fill in the gaps for yourself for how this is supposed to look. Now they put like an actual canonical look to everything of what it's supposed to be communicated. That's sick though. For free on Android, that's pretty sick. It's free on Android. Maybe I should give it a try on stream. That'd be a fun thing to do. It's like an APK, or do you have to run it in a terminal? That's pretty sick, dude. We have to do layers of this. I'm sorry, what? Why is this not... What? Okay, there we go. I think I'm gonna do like a detailed leaf and then stamp it around or something. APK or from Google or other stores. Gotcha, okay. I never saw that full animated trailer. Yeah, it's a second thing. So at least it's not the most prominent thing. There's a really cool thing that happens when you play like old or like pixel games, right? Which is that your brain starts filling in the gaps for what's supposed to be there. Especially very small resolution games like the Final Fantasy ones. The character sprites are very... So it's fun filling it in. I mean, even those games though, they do have promotional art or even character portraits that show how the character's supposed to look like. There's some that don't have that. And it's pretty cool to kind of like have this weird ethereal control over like what you perceive the character to be. I don't like that. I don't like this at all. I think we're going to keep it very simple and not highly detailed because that's going to be very distracting. Yeah, I think we're going to keep it very plain and just stamp this around and maybe do some transformations or something. I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? Oh, are you kidding me, dude? What is going on? Okay, here we go. Then I can do this. I can stamp it. We could change this to be aligned from destination. I could do this and this. I wish I had a way to rotate this though. I have to make other iterations of it before it starts feeling super samey. Let's make another iteration of it. Fill it in, 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 fill it in. Okay, it's almost 4 o'clock. I wish I would have gotten more assets done today. But I guess it is what it is. Austerities and LED screens. Oh yeah, that's part of it. But that's like a real physical phenomenon that's going on. Because like the CRT screens blend colors in a way that doesn't happen on LED or LCD screens. So it's like objectively looks better. Or I guess, no, I'm not going to say it objectively looks better. Art that was made for CRT screens look better on CRT screens. Let's say that. Because there's art that's made for LCD screens that look good on LCD screens. So I'm not going to discount modern artists. However, there is some art that objectively looks better on the CRT. And has a higher potential to look better on a CRT. But the imagination thing, that's just like a cool, like you probably had it as a kid, right? Where your brain just fills in the details of the world, and like you end up having a very distinct experience because of that. There's something very fun about doing that. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm gonna like make a palette of like different leaves that are gonna be common here. Oh my freaking goodness. I hate how Aseprite handles. There's very little things I actually hate about Aseprite. I hate how it handles selection on tiled canvases. Yeah, it's getting pretty late. Yeah. Are you kidding me? No. You're not gonna do this to me. Do you know how much I've sacrificed? You can't do this to me. I did like this. This makes me so angry. The fact that I can't just translate it across like that, it's freaking ridiculous. And pasting is like all sorts of stupid. Can't be compared. They always have something special that even play with rocks and they'll find everything. I think it's part of the exploring, discovering, playing, daydreaming. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing though. Like, yes, kids' imaginations are different. I guess for me, the reason I'm making like the reason that's something that so I remember feeling that as a kid, right? And you usually think, okay, you're a kid and you can never feel that again. But no, I remembered playing Final Fantasy VI as a grown person, well into my 20s, and having that experience happen again. And it was only possible just because I was playing something that afforded that opportunity and kind of invites you to do that. And it's like, there's still games that invite you to do that. But I think most games want to explicitly spoon feed what the world state is as opposed to like having it be interpreted. Which is fine. Like that's a totally fine like way of designing a game. But it's nice when you have an opportunity to like be invited into that kind of childhood way of thinking. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna freak out, dude. I'm gonna freak out. I normally love you, Ace, right? You're my love of my life. 9 times out of 10. On this particular thing, you're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Sorry to say it. It's just facts. It's just facts. You're just terrible. Yeah, I'm not sure how good of an idea this is. What I had in mind. I'm gonna have to actually do some detailing on these leaves. I can't be lazy about it. I have to do something here. A tileable instead. It's going to be made tileable. That's the whole part of it, right? But the individual leaves, I wanted to still feel organic. Imagine series like Gravity Falls that are made for a speculation, discovering, or figuring hidden details. That is a more explicit example, but to a minor level, other media like that is just fun. Yeah, that's actually a good. I think that's a good idea. TST. There's not, or I guess it's not like that's actually like the next evolution of it, right? Because all I'm talking about is just the aesthetic, but you're just talking about like even just engaging and diving deeper into the world that is presented to the player. And to engage in scrutiny. I mean, I guess that's kind of why I like The Witness a lot. I mean, the whole game is you kind of scrutinizing and understanding the language of like the mechanics through the world. There's like a whole talk about the secret of Psalm. I think Psalm 46. It's a game design talk by a guy named Brian Moriarty, and he actually dives into that and how like great works inspire intense scrutiny. Not to like dissect it to. Like, not scrutiny in terms of, like, trying to pick it apart and criticize it or whatever, but rather to, like, find more fundamental truths in it by dissecting it. And only great works really do that. So he, like, talks about like, how, like, Shakespearean plays, how people have gone absolutely crazy, like, legitimately crazy and died trying to uncover some deeper thing about those plays. Am I going to do this for real? Am I actually going to do this? Or am I going to just keep it silhouetted? I want to keep it silhouetted, but I'm afraid I can't. It feels too plain in comparison to this. Maybe it'll be fine. I don't know. Not even there. Yeah, I mean, like, the human mind is great at rationalization, right? And rationalization doesn't mean that it's correct. Like, you can rationalize something that's not actually true but makes sense. Like, for example, you know, maybe your wife is late arriving home and she didn't notify you. Well, you can come up with a bunch of rational guesses as to why that is. Oh, maybe she ran into traffic. Maybe, you know, there's an accident. Maybe she forgot something in the office or whatever, right? All rational guesses, but, you know, it's not the actual truth. Or maybe it is the truth, right? But if something completely different happened, right, you know, they would be incorrect despite being completely rational guesses. But then, like, you can go to crazy extremes. I don't know. There's like, that's like a very, very normal example, right? But then people can rationalize crazy things and make it make sense to themselves. And that's where things get very odd. But I think that's the thing about, that's kind of a responsibility of, like, designers' intent, right? Like, yeah, people can and will go crazy analyzing stuff beyond where their meaning actually lies. But then an author, especially if they're aware of that possibility, can, like, be clear in their intent of their work. Would this be in the king in yellow type of story? I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that actually. That's just anxiety. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of oddities. All right, I'm gonna call this here for today. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being with me as I get some work done in this. I think this level is not done, but at least you get a little look as to what is involved in getting one level done, or at least some of the work required to finish a level. And we're getting closer to release, guys. Ever closer to release. I think we could totally get it done in June and have it out before I get to go on vacation. Faster vehicles are going to struggle on this map. Yeah, I'm super happy with it though. I need to adjust timings though. Yeah, it's looking much prettier. Thank you, CK. I'm glad you dig it. You mean people with slow reflexes? Oh, what do you mean, Mad Cabbage? Have a good night. Yeah, you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate it, alright? God bless, and until next time, y'all, stay cozy. Bye-bye.